Welcome back to Crazy Lizzy Goat Farm and More. You know, since my surgery in my arm, I've been, so badly wanting to quilt. You know, it's like being, I don't know what you call it, addicted to it. I don't know, that's a bad word. But anyhow, I've been wanting to quilt. And the other day, I found this layer cake. And a layer cake is 10-inch squares. Are supposed to be 10-inch squares. But anyhow, so I've come up with a challenge. I take these layer cakes and I wanted to make a quilt. I can use a background fabric, which I chose to use white as my background fabric, and I can use one access fabric, which I know what I'm going to use, but I got to go oh so pretty and get it. And when we go, I'll show you what set fabric we're going to use. But what we're going to do is make flowers, pinwheels. And what you do is you take...
Wait a minute, Mama.
Okay, the challenge is to use every color of the material, the package. So I decided to use pinwheels. So I took 10. Mom. You got to use every color that's in the package. So I'm going to start out making pinwheels. So I took my white material and I cut 10-inch squares. And then I'm going to go to the sewing machine and sew all the way around the square. And then we're going to take and cut them. So come with me to the machine.
Your face. Go.
Oops, not quite long enough.
I'll get my handbrake.
Voila.
Hey, wait. Show them on this camera.
Doing what? Okay, so now we sewed all the way around it. We did a 1/4 inch all the way around it. And now we're going to go back to the table and cut them.
There.
Okay, now you line your tip from here and here. You put your mark there. And you take your rotary cutter and you cut. And hopefully I can cut hard enough because of my arm. It's giving me some trouble. But we're going on. We ain't going to be put down. Now let's see how good a job I did. Okay. Assistant! Oh, look at how those scissors just automatically appeared. I think I need a new blade. I think I need a new arm. No, I just got to do lots more therapy to get this arm working. And I'm not giving up. It will happen. Because Jesus said, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Jesus Christ who gives me strength. And I sure been relying upon him. But yeah, now we got.
Wait a minute.
Head. Head's a good thing. Okay, now we got all these cut out. Now we got to go to the machine, to the iron, and iron them, and make sure we iron it to the dark side. Okay.
Russia has right in that area. Huh? Actually, they real easy because the house is here. And plus, the trenches, the basic trees out right there. And the minerals. There's a lot of them. So, I'll leave them in the front. So you may eventually purchase Pinwheel, and it'll be our 51st country. He was pretty big. Texas, it's all like this. Alaska, I don't know if Alaska will be the largest state in America if we purchase Pinwheel. And like, there's mixed people who have known about purchasing Pinwheel. Somebody went over there and interviewed who they want to become a very part of the United States. And like, and this guy's like, well, I have come to one conclusion. They don't really doesn't know what family is. So they're like, oh, we're individual, we're Greenland. No, you're a part of the business, you're all You ain't got a military big enough to use the kitchen. That's the whole thing. Denmark needs to have some resources. To even do anything for Greenland. Other than having some fight, they don't got finances anymore. But like the whole thing, like if we, like I was telling you the other day, if we were truly to purchase now we know how to use them, and now that we know how to use them, they actually have resources. So they have no. But there's something supposed to be like you do in Venezuela and stuff, when you come to the opinion. Something on the opinion. Backed up by the United States.
Okay, we got all our quilt done. Whoa. That would not been fun. It'd been funny, but it would not been nice to fall out of the chair. We've done our pinwheel squares, and then I took 2-inch strips and I sewed these together and sewed the long ones together. And then I put it on a quilting loom and I quilted it. Now I just got to put the binding on there. So come along with me to the machine when I put the binding on. Here's the binding, and I've got to take the binding and fold it in half and iron it. And then I'll be back with you. Okay, Susan.
Okay. Look, 2 cameras. All I gotta do is get this.
Well, I've already got the quilt mated, and now I've got to make the binding for it. And I've got all these strips here that I've got to sew together. And I'm chain piecing them. But a neat thing to do is to pick up this quilt, with this material, these 2.5-inch strips, and you sew it together. But you take this one, and you go to the end, and you slide down to the end, and you turn it over, and then you put, if you had one with different designs on it, you put the pretty sides together. Line it back up, and just continue sewing. So I go down the aisle, down it, flip it over, and that way the pretty side would be up. Get the other one and put the pretty side down and sew it. And now all my pieces is chained together. And then you just take your scissors and you clip the little strings in between it. And then you end up with a big long of material. And that way all your material, all your seams will be on the right side. You can come pause it. You can't see it. You got to put something behind it. Unless you put it over on that whiteboard, on that chalk.
I was trying to figure it out. My face.
There. And I also wanted to tell you that the back of my quilt is a twin size sheet. So you don't have to go out and spend all that money for a whole bunch of material. Twin size sheet. Go to the thrift store. Buy me a sheet. Okay, now what you do, you got your quilt and it's all squared up. you take your binding and you fold it in half, and then you come right here on your quilt. And I don't pin. If you like to pin, you pin. If you don't pin, don't pin. It's up to you. Leave a good spot about 7 or 8 inches, and then come down and make sure you do a 1 1/4 inch stitch allowance, and just all the way around until you get to your corners, and I'll show you how to do a minor turn. And make sure you backstitch. Okay, when you get down here to your corner, I put my finger right here on top of the end of it, and I'm going to sew down to my finger, and then I'm going to turn off. Because I put my finger there to remind me to stop, because I want to slant it. Pull my quilt away. Then I take and turn my quilt all the way around, and then I take my binding strip and turn it all the way up and line it up, and I make an angle right here. And then I fold back down and even it up at the top. Put it back under the sewing machine, and so make sure you backstitch. Go around to the other end, to the next corner. Okay, you can pause. Okay, now we sewed all the way around, and here's this end of it, and here's this end. So I take this end, and I bring it up a little bit, and I fold it down flat. I turn it flat. And then I take this side, and I bring it down to that end, and I turn it flat. Straight, that would be a better word, straight. And I line these two ends up. Then, be helpful if I cut the thread off. Okay. I straighten this up, straight. Take this one, do the same thing, match it in there evenly, and then I pinch it right there where it joins. And I push the quilt out of the way. And I take the sewing machine, I put this right under there where I pinched it at. Straighten up this so it'll be straight, and I sew. Then I come back and I make sure this lays down flat. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 times to get it right. Hey, I'm not perfect, I'm just trying. And then since this is laying down flat, I come in here and I cut and I trim this off. Then I come back up here and I sew again. Make sure you back stitch. Pass where your stitches out and back stitching out. All right. Hey, you're almost through. Can pause it. Okay, now after you sew it all the way around, you come on the other side, you fold your binding down, and you try to sew as close to the edge as you can. All the way down until you get to the corners. And when you get you to the corner, fold this one out and take this other one and come over it. And it should make a 45-degree angle. If you sewed it right. And if you don't, you just keep messing with it until it turns out. Then turn your machine, turn your quilt, and keep getting it to the next corner. I'll bring you back when I get through. Okay, we got all our quilt done. Whoa. That would not been fun. It'd been funny, but it would not been nice to fall out of the chair. We've done our pinwheel squares, and then I took 2-inch strips and I sewed these together and sewed the long ones together. And then I put it on a quilting loom and I quilted it. Now I just got to put the binding on there. So come along with me to the machine when I put the binding on. Here's the binding, and I've got to take the binding and fold it in half and iron it. And then I'll be back with you. Okay, Susan.
Okay. Look, 2 cameras. All I gotta do is get this.
Well, here she is. She's not perfect, but hey, none of us is perfect. But you know, the Amish people, they make sure something's not perfect because we're not perfect people. But anyhow, it's done with love. And my quilt, like I told you at the beginning, we're going to give it away to somebody that God laid on my heart to give it to. So I think she'll really appreciate it. But I think it looks pretty good. And we'll show you pictures of when we give it to her. But until then, and if y'all want me to make another quilt, y'all tell me which quilt you want me to make, and I will try to figure it out, and we will make it together. And tell me if you like it. What do you think about it? Give me a comment. Give me feedback of what you do. And until next time, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments, and share our videos. And